All right, so are you ready to dive deep into something really interesting?
Always ready.
Okay, well, let's get right to it then. Today's deep dive is going to take us right into the world of pro wrestling.
Oh, yeah?
More specifically, the Royal Rumble 2025.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm a little surprised by this one. The internet is already buzzing about this thing.
Really?
Yeah, and the event's
That's,
still like, what, 10 months away, something like that?
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. The sheer volume of search terms is wild. It seems like everybody's already trying to figure out who's going to be in the ring.
I can imagine.
So our mission, if you choose to accept it, is to decode this buzz.
Sounds like a plan.
What can we actually learn about the event itself and like what fans are expecting just from these search terms?
Good question.
Right? So let's start with something that kind of jumped out at me when we were first looking at this data.
Okay, what's that?
There are a lot of searches for Royal Rumble 2025 on Netflix.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like, I thought everyone knew by now that Peacock is where you watch WWE stuff.
Yeah, you'd think so, right?
So what do you think that means?
Well, maybe some folks are just a little behind on the whole streaming situation.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or, maybe it's something else entirely.
Like what?
Like maybe it points to something bigger, you know? Like a desire for the event to be more widely accessible.
Oh, you mean like Netflix has way more subscribers than Peacock,
Exactly.
right? So maybe fans are kind of hoping for a situation where anyone can watch it without needing a specific streaming service.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And it kind of makes you think about how much the whole media landscape is changing right now.
You're sure?
Like we're all cutting cords and figuring out what to subscribe to and what not to.
Yeah, exactly.
But speaking of things that fans are searching for, there's another big one.
What's that?
Date and time info.
Makes sense.
I mean, there are tons of variations on this. Royal Rumble 2025 start time, or just when is the Royal Rumble, and then like a zillion where to watch searches.
Yeah, everybody wants to know how to watch it.
Right, like nobody wants to miss the action.
It's that classic event anticipation. You see it with concerts, sports, you name it.
Yep, makes you want to be in the loop.
Right. It's about being part of the experience with everyone else.
Exactly. Okay, so then there's this whole other category of searches that I find super intriguing.
Huh, what is it?
People are obsessed with the match card.
Ah, yes, the match cards.
So for those who might not be familiar with wrestling lingo, can you explain what that is exactly?
Sure. The match card is basically the lineup of matches for the entire event.
So it's like who's fighting who.
Yep, and the order they're going in.
I see.
And honestly, the level of interest in the match card makes sense.
So,
Well, because that's where all the storylines we've been following for months could potentially come together.
ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
So it's like trying to predict which rivalries will boil over at the Rumble.
exactly. Fans are looking for any tiny clue that might hint at dream matchups or like surprise returns.
Yeah, it's like a giant puzzle just waiting to be solved.
And that's exactly why WWE storylines are so compelling.
You're right. They keep people guessing and invested for months and months.
It's all about those long-term narratives.
Which actually brings us to another interesting search term.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, we're seeing WrestleMania 2025 pop up alongside all these Royal Rumble searches.
Interesting. So fans are already thinking even further ahead.
They sure are. And it makes sense when you think about it.
How so?
Well, because the Royal Rumble often sets the stage for WrestleMania.
Right. It's like the kickoff point for those bigger WrestleMania storylines.
Exactly. Like
Mhm.
you might get a surprise winner at the Rumble, and that totally shakes things up for WrestleMania.
Exactly. Or a huge betrayal happens and suddenly there's a whole new rivalry to watch.
So the Royal Rumble is kind of like the first domino to fall.
Yeah, and WrestleMania is like the grand finale.
I love that analogy. It's so true.
And it just shows you how much fans are invested in this whole world.
Absolutely. It's not just about watching matches. It's about being part of this ongoing story.
Yeah, you're right. It's about the community, the speculation, the anticipation.
And I think that's what makes this whole thing so fascinating.
Agreed. It's amazing how these search terms can reveal so much about the fans and what they're looking for.
It's like we're getting a sneak peek into their minds.
And it makes you think about the bigger picture, right? Like, what does all this engagement tell us about the power of live events in a world that's increasingly digital?
That's a really good question.
Like,
Like maybe it's the unpredictability of live events that draws us in, or that feeling of being part of something bigger than ourselves.
yeah, or maybe it's just that we all crave good storytelling no matter what form it takes.
That's a great point.
So for all of you listening, I want you to think about what it is about the Royal Rumble, or any live event really, that makes you so eager to break it down and analyze every detail.
It's a good thing to think about,
Is it the thrill of not knowing what's going to happen?
or the feeling of being part of a shared experience.
It's really interesting to think about.
It
As
is.
we get closer to Royal Rumble 2025, keep those thoughts in mind.
Yeah, who knows what surprises are in store for us.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, that's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.